Elisabeth Hogarth Designs. Today we are looking at Craft Consortium's new winter collection 2023, and I'm going to begin by showing you the Its Snome Time 2 collection, and following on from that I will show you the design team samples I made for the launch. Let's take a look at the Snome Time collection. We've got the 12 by 12 papers, the 6 by 6 papers, the clipboard ephemera, some fabulous embellishments, decoupage, and the complementing A4 coloured paper pad. So for those of you that remember the original Snome Time, you've got the collection of fir trees and the magical gnomes themselves and the reindeer and all the little characters. This is Snome 2, so again you've got the gnomes, the reindeers are complete with hats and adornments, and as always we begin by looking at the front sheet that has got the 9 different designs of toppers, and then these will be seen again in the decoupage and also in the brand new stamp set that I'll show you in a moment. But you can cut out these additional toppers, you can cut these out or use them as one background, and then you've got the various colours of polka dots on the back. But this is rather interesting that you've now got a night scene with the gnomes and a day scene, so you can decide whether you want to use the black backgrounds or the paler blue. So that's a nice little addition to the set. And of course, so you've got 4 designs of 9 making 8 designs of 9 making 72 toppers, so really quick and easy Christmas cards there. You've then got various scenes where you can incorporate the cutouts on the background, or you can use these as a border. And then this one here is very joyful too. It's going to be quite hard to decide on this one whether you go for the front or the back, because they're all equally as nice. But don't forget, you've got these 6 by 6 as well. I love this page as well. You can cut out all of the various gnomes. You can make these into postage stamps to sit on your envelopes, or you can cut out all of the various gifts. We've got the iconic script pages in the black and the white. We've got snowflakes. I love this turquoise blue. That was useful in the original Gnomes collection. And this white one here is embossed. Then we've got sets of trees. So lots to be cutting out and to be working with. Sets of Christmas stockings. And then you've got some decorative tartan style papers. The stripes and the checks work really well together. Love these for paper ribbons. They'll be wonderful to work with. And then you've got more additional toppers at the back. And as always, you've got a little description here about the very talented illustrator Helz Cuppleditch. So again, you've got that in the 12 by 12 and the 6 by 6, and I'll be showing you these in more detail as I come to work with the projects. And then you've got the A4 paper set. You can see all of the colours here. I love that the back and the front are different shades of the same colour, and you can see as well how well they coordinate with the pages themselves. So if you come to the front and you've got these pages here, the greens and the blues, you've got shades of red as well. And then these A4 paper pads are really worth having, because then you can complement the main set, and it makes your paper stash go that little bit further. We've then got a fabulous set of chipboard embellishments. So you've got the standby with the lanterns and the presents, the stockings, the baubles, smaller versions of the presents, so you can mix and match them with the 6x6 and with the 12x12. And then you've got the characters themselves. So if you don't feel like fussy cutting out the main pages or getting the decoupage, then I would buy an extra pack of the chipboard ephemera, because it really does make quick and easy toppers for your projects. There's the gingerbread house. So you can remember in the original Snomes how the Snomes always had little friends with them, and the same applies here. So they really are joyful little characters, and I think Helz has really made them so festive and happy that they will work within all of your Christmas makes. It's really hard talking about Christmas makes on a boiling hot summer's day, but most crafters have to start early, so it's well worth you seeing these collections so that you can get crafting. And then we have the decoupage set, and this time Craft Consortium have included some mini foam pads, so it'll be really interesting to see how these work, because we've got 2 sheets of each design, and as you can see, these are reflected in those main images in the paper pad and on the decoupage and on the ephemera. I think I like these images the best, where the Snome is centre stage. These are relatively easy to use, and I'll be working out some projects, so keep looking as to how I use them. Next we have the stamps, and these ones are larger than usual, so these are A5 in size, which is going to make them really compatible with the smaller stamp set. So this is Snome Time 1, so you can see the difference in the size, but don't be afraid to use these stamps within the larger ones, because then you could take these images and add them to the larger trees and to the gingerbread house, and then you can see the sizing is pretty relative to the original, but it means we've got more on the stamp set and lots of things that we can be creating with this. So I'm going to try a few projects with the Snome Time 2 set and the Snomes, and I think I might well bring in the Candy Christmas as well, because I can use these gingerbread houses and make like a little village scene. So we'll see how we get on with that. And then last but not least, we've got some snowflake embellishments, and then these rather delightful little mini lanterns. I think I'm going to enjoy creating some projects that I can add these to, because they are a wide range of colours, so they'll work with all of the colours in the main set. So we've got lots to be playing with. Let's see how we get on. It really is quite bizarre creating samples for Christmas during the middle of a heat wave, but I have produced a wide range of home decor and cards, and I'll show you in the smaller 6x6 papers where I got some of the elements from. But this was the first project that I made. I'm going to show you them in the order that I made them. It was quite hard to begin because it was hot, but there was a deadline, so I found a piece of MDF that I must have bought in Hobbycraft or in the Works a few years ago. Didn't get around to using it, and I thought it would be perfect for this collection. So I took the paper ribbons from here, and I used that to back the back of the sleigh, and the smaller ditty dots here. And to begin with, I used a sponge and some acrylic paints to cover the whole thing with blues and silvers and greys. Then I added the papers, cut them away, and then here you can see I brought in some of the decoupage elements, the MDF, the snowflake embellishments. I added a paper ribbon, and then I added Tinkly Bell and some beads from my own collection. So this was the one that started me off, and then once I began, more ideas popped into my head, so let me share them with you now. I wanted a way to use the various elements of the topper sheet. So in the 12x12 pad you've got 9 sheets in day and night, so rather than using them as squares, I cut into them and I made an origami box that you've seen me make before. I'll leave you the link in case you want to make one. I took one sheet of the 12x12, one sheet, and I cut it down to 11.5 by 11.5 to make the base. So here's the simple origami box. And then when you open it up, I've made a set of drinks coasters. So these are all cut from the 9x9 squares. So you've got day and night of all the various elements. They were stuck onto a piece of grey board, and then I sealed them with some liquid wax. But some of the images have come up really nicely, so don't be afraid to cut into the squares. They don't have to stay as they are, and this will make a really good gift. So pretty cheap and inexpensive. You've only really used 3 sheets of the 12x12, and you can make yourself a little drinks coaster set with the coordinating box. More gift ideas. This was a wooden heart that had seen better days, so I used the 6x6 papers. You remember the presents that you can cut into, and then I used a sandpaper block to take away the excess, stuck it onto the heart. Then I added a piece of the MDF embellishments, and the bells and the bows are my own, so that can either be a teacher's gift or a tree decoration. And then I use my trusted tins of coffee. You can see still some dregs of coffee. Eventually these could be filled with sweets or with bar salt, something like that. And then one strip of the 12x12 paper to decorate the edge, and then another embellishment on the top. So more pretty straightforward gift ideas. I used a photo frame on this particular piece, and I used one of the background landscape pieces, cut into it onto the 12x12. It made the perfect background, and then these paper ribbons came in really handy, so I cut this one away and I used it on top of the frame. And then here are the magical twinkling lights, and another chipboard piece of ephemera. So you can see it's pretty dimensional, and again that would make a very good piece of Christmas decor, or again you can give it as a gift. This was another frame. I bought a set of these cheaply in Sainsbury's. They had some random picture of a dog inside, and I took those out, and they've come in handy over the years. So again I've attached the lights, and then I added the background ribbons, but I used a whole set of them because I really like this garland design here along with the stockings. These are easy to cut out, but if you just want to use them as a background, they work really well. I've sealed the lights together with some of the chipboard ephemera, and then I've used decoupage in layers, and you can see how I have taken some of the background elements and added a separate layer. So rather than having one Snome helping out, I've got two, and then I've brought some of the gifts wrapped up here just to extend the imagery. So again, that's going to make a beautiful home decor piece. And then when you've had enough of it, you can unclip here and add something new. But I really like the way that these lights work with it, so I think I'll have to buy some extra sets of those to use this year. So last year for Candy Christmas, I made these little gingerbread houses where I used a stamp and some brown ink, and then I created a mini gingerbread house that can be used as a decoration or a little gift box. So in order to carry on with the theme, I took the bigger stamps in Snome Time 2, and I've created something rather similar. Brought in the paper ribbons, but the collection of pearl embellishments have come back, and I've used some of the paper on the outside, so you can see you can begin to build yourself a gingerbread village. But they're relatively easy to make, and I think that they're really effective and a great way to use these stamps. I ended up making a lot of home decor pieces, but I did make some simple cards. So this is the paper ribbons again that I've put on the angle, and I used this design last year in my Christmas card making, but rather than paper piecing with the scraps, I've used the papers that I've been given. I added a sentiment with gold embossing powder, and then here's another one of those chipboard ephemera pieces, and then a little touch of the paper on the inside. Then I moved on to my stamping. So here you've got the larger gingerbread house, so it's heat embossed with brown ink and clear embossing powder, and then I use my watercolour paints to add a touch of gingerbread colour to the elements. Really like the way that the little Snome's feet stick out the top, and then this is one of the decoupage pieces on the front. So then when you open it, you've got the 6x6 papers on the back, and then it will stand like so. But I think that ended up being one of my favourite cards. It took a little time to paint, but I was really pleased with the effect. A slightly larger card this time. So again, I've used the gingerbread house from Snome's 2. And then I incorporated the gingerbread house from Candy Christmas, which you can see here, because it added some dimension. This is the landscape paper again, and I cut into it to add a third house. And then I brought in the little gingerbread candy cane train here, and again it's all been watercoloured. And then last but not least, I brought in the original Snome with all his little friends and hand coloured him, and then I've added them all together to create this festive scene. It did take a little time to pull it together, but you can see how brilliantly all of Helz's collections will work together. So you've got Snome Time 1, Candy Christmas, and Snome Time 2, and I believe everything will be available on the Craft Consortium website, and then you too can be adding to the whole Snome Time theme. And then last but not least, I discovered that I'd got a picture frame that's like a snow globe, and if I leave it to settle, I'll just leave it there a moment and I'll see if it will settle. But you can see the glitter is coming down the picture, and then very, very slowly we wait. You should be able to see that I've put one of the topper pages behind there with the window scene. So again, that would make a very cool Christmas ornament or a gift. You could even put a baby picture in there as well, but you can just about see that all of the glitter has settled, and you've got the Snome Time 2 window frame in there. So here we have all of my makes ahead of the shows on Create and Craft. This collection will be launched at the end of June, and you'll be able to buy it directly from Craft Consortium at the beginning of July, and indeed your local retailers. I think you can see that there's so many different ways that you can use this particular collection, whether you're making gifts with the coasters and the simple tin full of sweets, the picture frames that again you could add some of your lights to, or indeed a home decor piece. You've got the Christmas decorations, you've got a sign to say that Santa's on his way, and you've got relatively simple Christmas makes through to a little bit more personalised and the real showstoppers. I hope you will enjoy creating with Snome Time 2 just as much as I have. Possibly don't do it in the middle of a summer heat wave, but enjoy your makes. Don't forget to share them on the Facebook group, the official Craft Consortium network. Subscribe to my channel, hit the bell to be notified of future content, and please come back and join me again at Elisabeth Hogarth Designs very soon. Take care, bye bye for now.